Good evening and welcome to the Coaches Show here at Roosters Men's Grooming at the Tower Center across from 1890s Ranch. Tonight, filling in for Coach Vincent is Coach Geist, our defensive coordinator from Vista Ridge. And Coach, congratulations, what a game.
Thank you very much. The guys played a great game. We were really proud of the effort they gave defensively, and they just got after them all night long.
What was it like, playing Vandergrift for a second time, and how did you game plan, especially when you start seeing Seguino warm up on the sideline?
Yeah, we knew that he was going to be out there during the pregame. That wasn't anything that really threw us. Playing him the second time, actually, that was, it kind of helped a little bit, I guess. We already knew kind of what they do offensively, but then again, without Seguino in there, we knew that their offense was going to be a little bit more geared toward their run game. We had to know where Brandon was at all times and account for him. But it was a matter of us just going with their tendencies. We had a little more on them now the second time around, and our guys felt like they were ready to go.
At one point, there was a timeout called. I think it was in the second half. We had a couple injuries, and traditionally, you get if the timeout's called, they get to go back in. Did we get that timeout back?
We got the timeout back. I'm really not exactly sure what they were doing at that point. I was worried about calling the next defense and figuring out actually the personnel that we had. But I know it showed on the scoreboard that we were missing a timeout, but they did let us know that no, you got that one back.
Okay, great. Because in the stands were all confused, and then they said that we still had a timeout left, and people didn't go back in, and it was quite confusing. But it all worked out.
Yes, it worked out. We just got the next guy ready to go. We went out there and did a good job, and then when there was an opportunity to sub back in, we subbed back.
Great. In regards to, let's start looking at going ahead, but prior to that, let's talk about the players of the week.
Okay. Players of the week this week, offensive lineman was Sean Freeman. Offensive back was Matt Snow. Receiver was Ryan Landrum. Offensive MVP was Jameel Pittman. The DB of the week was Jeremiah Chambers. D lineman was Jay Mobley. Linebacker was split between Blake Harrison and Cole Patterson, and the defensive MVP was R.J. Phillips. The Special Forces MVP went to Bryce Dahl. The Hammer Award went to the entire Swarm defense. And then the RBI Award was Christian Dominguez. And then our hard hats for this last week, Kevin Vista, Caden Marks, Seth McAvoy, Cam Handy, Kelby Davis, Thomas Postal, Kobe Barton, and Cash Cross.
And those guys, putting that extra work in for the varsity guys, it's been amazing. You can see that it's working, and they're getting some extra practices, getting ready for next year.
Oh, that's always great for the underclassmen to get a chance to work this time of year when other guys are off doing other sports now and going to off season. And they've been doing a great job for us. We've been really pleased with our attack teams.
Let's now move ahead. Huge game, going to be in Houston at NRG Stadium, where the Houston Texans play. Friday night, 7:30 against George Ranch. What are we going to, they're a team that we don't see and, don't know much about until we get to this time of year. Talk about what we should look for offensively, and then we'll get, since you're DC defensive coordinator, we'll talk about what to look for defensively.
Okay, well, their offense, they're a great offense. They've got a very explosive running back, number one. They've got another guy that they spell him with sometimes too, number 6, who's also really good. Between the two of them, they're averaging over 200 yards a game rushing. They run the ball about almost 80% of the time, but they have a quarterback that can throw the ball very well. He's got a really strong arm. So when they do throw, they get explosive pass plays. Their play-action passing game averages over 12 yards of completion. Their drop-back game over 12 yards of completion. So they catch people coming up playing the run, and then they hit them over the top. A real explosive offense, very fast. They've got a big offensive line, and they run their scheme really well. They don't get too complicated. They'll throw a few different formations at you, but for the most part, they're going to be in a 2-back set and two wide on one side, one on the other, and they're going to run power football. They run a lot of counter, a lot of power, and they run between the tackles quite a bit.
And with that said, you've done a great job. Just sitting in the stands and watching it, I've gone to some practices and stuff, and just the way the defense has changed. Between a Lockhart offense, to Victoria West offense, teams that we don't normally see in 25-5A or local area. you've done a fantastic job. The guys have really obviously bought in and adapted per team and stuff. What is it that we're going to see? Is it something unique or something very standard to what we're used to with our defense?
You might be surprised to know that usually when we go into a game, we don't change up very much of the overall defensive scheme. We narrow the calls, we have a few checks, we have a few keys, and we decide based on what the team is going to throw at us, what are the top calls that we want to run in certain situations. So our guys are getting more and more comfortable as the year goes on because they're basically running the same defense with a few tweaks in there. And that's kind of what we're going to do here as well. Going back to Lockhart, we did throw in a different front, and that was different for us. We ran an even front and had an extra lineman in the game at that point. So that was a little bit different. You may have noticed that we've been over the course of the past few weeks running a little bit more of what we call our monster package, where we kind of have a safety sitting right behind the linebacker depth. That's something that we've done periodically throughout the year, but we still run a lot of our base stuff. What you're going to see out of us is tweaks within the base scheme of our defense geared towards stopping their run game and being sound in the passing game, trying to stay over the top of the routes.
It's tough to say. I mean, you've had some great players. You have Micah Thomas, who's now giving shout-outs to these guys that he played with when he was a senior and stuff like that. But I've talked about this many times. This particular class, there's so many seniors. And these guys have played together since mostly in 7th grade, some in Pop Warner all the way through. What's it like coaching this group?
Oh, it's a great group. This has been a real fun group of guys to coach. Watching this senior class come up through and how they've bonded and what they've done each year and how they've grown each year it's been a lot of fun. And of course we've got some really good underclassmen worked in with that mix of seniors, and the leadership from the seniors along with the effort from those underclassmen. It's a special group, and it's been a lot of fun coaching.
Well, it's been a great season. No matter what happens, and we just want to keep riding this ride. It'd be nice to go to NRG 2 times, in a row. But Friday night's going to be pretty special for the program. And congratulations, Coach. We look forward to Friday night and have a great week of practice.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks,
Coach.
to it too. Now joining us is Ben Marquez, senior right tackle. We've had so many seniors come in this year. It's really amazing. And as the season progresses, we get more seniors, which is great. Talk about what it was like playing in the Palace. I mean, it's right down the street from us, but we obviously Round Rock School District. We've never had to play in it. What was that like?
I mean, that was a venue right there that I've never been in. I was honestly amazed. It was a great venue to play in. It was just all around amazing experience. There was no problems with the locker rooms. I mean, we were able to find our spots. There was enough room for everyone to be comfortable and get in the zone before pregame. And I mean, of course, with the initial going to summer for the first time, there was that little bit of shock and awe that everyone felt when, we walked out on the field and just saw everything, because it's a different ballgame than Gupton. I mean, it was absolutely just kind of crazy.
Which brings us to this week, heading out to Houston. What are you expecting, with the travel and fun? I mean, another week with your brothers that you've been playing with for years. What are you expecting?
I'm expecting a good time. I'm really excited to play where the Texans play. I've been to that stadium several times. I've always told my dad, I'm playing on that field one day, and here it is. I'm finally getting to play on that field, and just like knowing it's with my brothers and all the guys I've spent the last 7 years of my life, some even longer. Like, it's just a great feeling knowing they're by my side and I get to spend another week with them.
Being part of the Final Four of Texas high school football, did you ever think that would happen?
I did. With this class, I know we were determined. I mean, we've always said we're going to do it, and this was our year to finally do it. And I mean, when I woke up Saturday morning, I was still like in awe. I mean, I talked to Mom. I was like, "Was I dreaming last night?" She's like, "No, we did it." And that's when I was like just completely blown away by the entire just craziness of it, and being in the Final Four, and just that amazing feeling knowing that we're gonna try and go all the way.
What do you want to give to? I mean, there's young youth players, middle school players. What do you want to tell them about Vista Ridge football and what you guys have created and want to keep going for the program?
Vista Ridge football, I mean, one of the traditions we got to keep is just play your hardest no matter what, and never give up. It doesn't matter if you're on the sideline and you don't play often. It doesn't matter if you go in 1 or 2 plays a game. It doesn't matter at all. I mean, give your 110%. Whether you're hyping up the crowd, taking a step on PAT and blocking the guy in front of you, because as Coach Vincent says, every point matters in a playoff game. So no matter what, you just got to give your best. And just got to be happy. Be happy to be there with your friends.
Well, Ben, I can't wait to see you guys out there at NRG Stadium on Friday night. Congratulations. It's been fun watching you play over the years. And, of course, we've got a couple more games to go. And congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. All right, now joining us is Matt Carter, senior defensive lineman. What's it been like? What's this season been like? What's the, playing Vandy again at the Palace down the street and now looking at NRG?
It's been crazy. It's probably been the best experience in me playing with all these. Played with all these guys since middle school.
Henry Hawks?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, you guys have been together for a long time. And it's been like this every week talking to somebody. It's really amazing. What are you looking forward to on Friday?
Getting to play and getting to go out there and really just a professional football stadium and play against a really good team. And keep going. Hype on the field is insane. Awesome.
Talk about that. I mean, what is one thing? I mean, you've been playing with these guys, and we talk about this week over week and stuff. What is something that is just really, you're so happy you get to extend this last year of your, being with these guys? What is it that just brings you excitement every day, that gets you out of practice, etc.?
I mean, just we all care about each other. We really don't want the season to end. I'm convinced if we could, we'd keep going forever.
Oh, I believe that.
That's how much.
Who's the biggest prankster on the team?
Probably my friend Jacob.
Yeah.
I'd have to say.
What's one of the goofiest things somebody's ever done in pregame to kind of get everybody, just get everybody hyped and kind of loose?
One of the song we sang was at the Marble Falls game. We were in the locker room singing the song, and everyone was jumping up and down, banging on the lockers. We're not going to think of the name of the song, but
it's just a great memory, right?
Yes.
All the future Rangers, young kids that are going to come play, starting next year, coming in from middle school or moving into middle school. What advice could you give them about keeping this tradition alive?
You guys got to give it your all. We're not asking for nothing you can't give, but push your hardest, never give up.
Well, I can't wait to see you guys on Friday night. Great season, great years of playing, and I'm wearing your Letterman jacket. There's a lot of pride in that VR on that jacket, right? All right. Well, congratulations and good luck on Friday.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Last but not least for this evening is Jacob Stockdale joining us, defensive lineman. Talk about being there at the Palace, right down the street from Gupton, but we drive by it and never play there.
It's great. We came back from playing in bigger stadiums like Texas State, and it was just nice to have a smaller one, and we were just so pumped on the sideline. That's part of what I do most of the time, because I don't play a lot, and I've been injured for a while, so I just pump the sideline up all the time. I'm yelling through all 4 quarters.
And with that, I mean, you got that student section of yours that's
Yeah.
stellar, right? I mean,
Great. We haven't had a student section either for the past few weeks because it's been like a long drive. So it was great having a student section again. And we had the different schools coming out too, and that was great.
yeah, the crowd. I mean, talk about the size of that crowd on our side. Vandergrift side was packed, and then our side was packed. I mean, it was quite an experience there. What was one of the coolest moments?
When we came in the locker room at halftime, and we were all just like, does it feel like we're losing right now? Because I don't feel like we're losing, even though we're down 7 points. No one felt throughout the whole game that we were losing. And I think that was what helped us win the game and come back. Because we just didn't stop playing our hardest at all.
Yeah, there was definitely there was a lot of fight in you guys. It's been that way all season. Whether you've been winning a little bit larger margin, there's just no the fight's still there. And it's one of the great things about the season. Friday night, NRG Stadium, gonna be great.
I was born in Houston. My grandparents live in Houston. They're avid Houston Texans fans. So it's gonna be awesome being able to play where the Texans play.
And talk about the game. I mean, playing George Ranch, a great program out of the Houston area. It's going to be pretty cool. Playing somebody outside of our normal.
It's like Coach Vincent says, it's always better to play a team that we don't know because they're not down the street, so we don't know anybody that goes to that school, so it's just a faceless opponent. So we have no distractions on like social media or friends from that school.
How many years have you been
I've
here?
Played from 7th grade all the way till now.
So you've been one of those guys that have just grown up.
Yes, sir.
And Henry Hawks all the way now to Vista Ridge Rangers, and now the school's growing. We have some kids coming in from Styles. Those future Rangers that are coming in next year and then going into the middle school programs. What do you want to tell them about what it's like being a Ranger?
It's so amazing to just spend every day in the fall and pretty much all year with your friends and your brothers. There's nothing really like it.
What's one of the greatest experiences you've had throughout your?
I'm gonna have to go with Matt Room this past year, which is a thing. It's an off-season workout that we have, and we just get so hyped up for it. It's really tough, but we keep pushing through it, and that's part of where our fight during games stuff comes from, is because we just push as hard as we can in Matt Room.
That's awesome. And now look at us on the field going into semifinals of Texas high school football. It's pretty awesome, huh?
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, and best of luck to you. It's been great watching you guys play for over the years. And don't forget, come Friday night in Houston, NRG Stadium, where the Houston Texans play. Also, the Vista Ridge Rangers, and go Rangers!